what is the status of the insurance market? Is this unique to Texas? Is this a national thing? We're hearing also, I mean, at the end of the day, Danny and I are just having conversations with owners where we, to your point, we've never really had to dig into this particular topic before in our 13-year history of doing this for a living. And now we do. And so having a macro level perspective of what's happening would be certainly very advantageous. What's your take on why we are having this conversation to begin with?
Yeah, well, it's a global insurance market that's affecting people who own a $5 million property in Texas. And they're at the whims of the total insurance market. And so what we typically see is cycles, like from 2013, 2019, the market was soft. And so rates were going down every year. And then 2020, and should have been 21, 22, rates should have been going up. But with the new market, everything's different. It's a global shift in rates. It's a market adjustment. It's not just we're going up 10%. Is you may go up 50% or 300%,
Right.
depending where you are. Texas is affected. Florida is more affected than Texas. California is more affected than Texas. But we're probably the third worst state as far as state of Texas to do insurance in.
Is that a byproduct of coastline and the propensity for big weather events that might take California and Florida to that, and then obviously Texas with the Gulf of Mexico? Is that the reason for?
Yeah. So Florida is bad because they have let lawyers into their insurance market. So one, they get hit by a lot of hurricanes, but they also built buildings to sustain hurricanes, and so they have a lot of property at risk, but they also can protect their properties better than a warehouse in Central Texas. The roof will fly off if a tornado flies by. Their buildings can take it. Florida has 8% of the claims in the country and 54% of the litigation. And so those lawyers in the system just drive up the cost on top of the weather events. And then California, their problem is they have an elected insurance official whose job is to basically get reelected. And so he came across and said, we're only going to allow insurance carriers to raise rates 6%. But they have wildfires, haven't had an earthquake in a while. They also have storms. They have all the other bad events that everyone else has, but the insurance carriers aren't allowed to raise their rates fast enough to make up for their losses. So they're just leaving the state entirely. And Texas, and insurance is a great market. It's a pure free market. If someone is making a profit,
Except if you're in California.
yes.
Yeah.
And so in Texas, if someone is making a profit, there's 5 other carriers to come undercut them. And the insurance carrier's goal is for every $100 of premium they get in to pay out $70 in claims, have $30 to cover expenses, and then they make the profit on investing that $100 while they hold it. And that's how the insurance market works. So if someone is making profit on that $100 they took in, 5 other carriers will come in like, well, I'll do it for $95. I'll do it for $90. And that's how you get the rates soft.
Sure.
Now the downside is, and it was hard for the self-storage owners, the carriers are going from 100 to 110 and they're still losing money. And so now they're going to 120 and still losing money. And that's where we're seeing this year-over-year increase of rates and costs for owners. And you're thinking, okay, I paid $30,000 last year, now I'm paying $45,000 of premium this year. I didn't have any claims. Why does the carrier want to go to $60,000? It's because the carrier didn't lose money on your property. They lost money globally. And so now they're raising rates on everybody.